Well, it's Tuesday, October 7th. Sahuran will be with you with the market update while we are entering to the second week of government shutdown in the United States and ongoing peace talk between Israel and Palestinian in Egypt. Market risk is still high, while however with the higher risk in the market, with the ongoing these all geopolitical tensions, the stock market is still increasing with the help of the AI and tech companies. This is surprising the market, and it's now there is a warnings starting coming out that maybe we are in the last stages that AI companies can move the market, and there are the people, there are the investors thinking about saving their profits. So the market risk is still high. That's why we should be a little bit more careful about our trades. Still, on the economic calendar this week so far, we didn't have much important data. Well, we know that Chinese holiday still continues. And same thing for the Korea as well. We have the Korean holiday ongoing as well. Korea's Thanksgiving Day, both Monday and Tuesday. Both countries they were holiday. Same in Israel. These holidays in these countries means that the less liquidity in the market, which can increase the risks. Other than that, yesterday we had from India, we had service and composite PMIs from India, slightly weakness in activities, normal after weaker activities in the countries around. That's normal to see the weaker activity in India as well. Going forward, yesterday we had PMI construction PMIs from the European countries, and we saw that in most of them the construction activity lowered, while the retail sales in the Eurozone also increased only 1% annually, much less than 2.1% printed in the previous months on the annual scale, and on the monthly scale, it increased only 0.1%. In Mexico, consumer confidence slightly eased, and in the United States, we had 3 and 6 months bill auction, and for 3 months, we saw that the yields increased from 3.8, slowed from 3.86 to 3.85, and for 6 months, from 3.75 slower to 3.69. Today, so far, again, while Israel, Korea, and China are still continuing their holidays, Japanese data were somehow positive, especially with the householdings, which increased by 2.3% annually. However, on the monthly scale, this household spendings increased only 0.6%, which means that on the short term and monthly scales, it is still concerning. It still should be still the point that we should be more careful. But in Japan, we had the leading index as well increased to 107.4 with 1.3% increase. With this data that we had from Japan, economic data that we had from Japan, while we know that Miss Takashi also as a new, probably it's Takeshi, something like that. I'm not pretty sure the name. How should I say that? With the new prime minister, which is mostly supporting the dovish policies, we saw that the market now counting on, the counting on holding the current rate instead of increasing the rate. That supported the bond yields, Japanese yields, to slightly ease from 3.26 to 3.24, as we know that the last week it increased to its 11 years to its highest level since 2011. Now it's slowly falling. That helped and supported the stock markets in Japan to print new all-time high. In United Kingdom, house price fell by 0.3% in September. Annually, it increased only 1.3%, much less than expected. Now, going forward, you can see that the bond yields in the French also, showing that the markets in the Eurozone is counting on holding the current rate or probably cutting the some rates. There is a tool, really, in Eurozone, we can say that the European Central Central Bank has it has very hard job to decide whether to hold the rates or increase or even to cut the rates, because while the inflation is getting sticky and slightly increasing, and there is a risk of increasing the inflation because of geopolitical tensions and tariffs. At the same time, the economic data shows weakness in its I'd say in its economic growth in the Eurozone, which, as you saw here, retail sales increased only 1%. So the people, they don't spend the money, or they don't trust the earnings more money to spend it. That's why the European Central Bank will have very hard job to decide whether to hold the rates, cut the rates, or increase it. So that's we have to wait a little bit more and get more data before European Central Bank meeting later this month. In Canada, we had the IVRI PMI, IB PMI, and saw that it's increasing from 50 to 61.6, and for the headline PMI is increased from 50.1 to 59.8. It's amazing number for the Canada, and it can support the holding the current rate after 25 basis point rates cut previous 2 weeks ago from 2.75 to 2.50, if I don't mistake. Red Book retail sales in the United States slightly eased from 5.9% to 5.8%. These data confirms that geopolitical tensions in line with the political disagreements, while the government shutdown going on, we have to be a little bit more careful about the market's reaction. Let's go to the chart and see what's going on here. Starting with the VIX chart, as you can see here, the VIX, that the market risk is still high. VIX at 17.5 or 17.50, showing that despite slightly easing from 18.20, it's still much higher than 15 expected or trusted area. And now that shows that the market risk is still so high, and we should be really more careful. That higher risk increasing the demand for the gold, which slightly increased the gold again to print an all-time high above 3,000. Let's say what exactly to check the number. It's 3,985, just like printed last almost an hour ago. The gold is still moving forward. There is the risk of the correction, but there is nothing to say that, okay, we have a signal of changing the trend. No, the price is still moving forward. The energy and oil specialty market encouraged by the OPEC Plus decision, which they decided to increase the production by 137,000 barrels a day from the November, comparing with 250,000 expected. That supported the oil price, and we can see that the oil now trying to stabilize itself around $62. Same thing that we talk in the weekly outlook as well. S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, they're encouraging with the AI stocks, especially the NASDAQ printing new all-time high in the futures market. Generally, the market's still counting on the AI stocks, and we have to wait a little bit more and see how that can go far, how far that can go. But I do not trust too much, to be honest. If I want to buy the stock right now, I'm not going to bet on a more buy right now in these prices. On the other hand, the 25% new tariffs for the heaviest heavy trucks, which is going to be started from November 1st, we can see that the industrial companies, they're getting under pressure with the Dow Jones moving sideways and downtrend. In a Bitcoin, in the cryptocurrency market, while the crypto stocks getting less interested in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, the Bitcoin, after touching new all-time high above 126,000, now falling down 118,000, sounds like its next target, especially if the price fall under 123,000. This is the overall market condition. About the Japanese, the Nikkei 2025 printed new all-time high, while the Japanese yen is getting weaker, now trading at 151. That shows that currently the market with the dovish policies and expected policies of the Ms. Takeshi, the Japanese yen cannot take advantage of that. I mean, can be under pressure actually with these policies. Again, after like almost 2 months of getting stronger in downtrend, the Japanese yen again getting weaker against the US dollar and other currencies. Yeah, that's a market update on what happened in the market. Hope it was useful. If you had any other question, don't forget to write in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good time. Bye-bye.